Freedym Show. This is the daily show featuring 10-minute practical, usable advice from amazing, heart-centered lifestyle entrepreneurs. Because it's not just about the money, it's about the freedom. I am Ryan Lee, your host, your teacher, your coach, your mentor, your friend, and the founder of Freedym.com, the leading online education platform for freedom-minded people just like you. And if you want a free special gift, I've taken 15 years of my best business strategies, condensed them down to just 3 pages. You can either go to Freedym.com, that's Freedym.com, or just text the word Freedym, Freedym, to the number 33444. Again, Freedym to 33444, and it's yours. All right, enough of me. Let's talk about you, and let's talk with our guest on the hot seat, my man, Peter Hoppenfeld. Peter, I've known for years. He's formerly known as an attorney. He's still an attorney. He's the guy that basically is a strategist for my business. When I have any type of issues, any type of strategic questions, Peter is the guy that I personally call. I'm not just saying that. I truly mean it. And basically every marketer, expert author in this world, in this space, has Peter basically having their back. If you want to learn more about Peter and his programs and services, just check out his website, Peter Hoppenfeld, HOPPENFELD.com. Peter, we've got 10 minutes on the clock. I know you always deliver. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it.
As you know, we got 10 minutes. There's no fluff. Let's dive right in. You're an attorney, but you're a business strategist. Let's talk about the number one mistake people are making online that leads to basically getting into trouble. Real
simple. People are working really hard on creating funnels, offers, products, services, marketing messages, Infusionsoft sequences, all this stuff, and they are not ready for their success. They forget to take care of the groundwork, the foundation work, having customer service in place, making sure their supplies are in place, making sure that they've stress test their funnels, making sure that they're ready to answer the phone, that their merchant accounts are ready to accept volumes of money. Remarkably, that's where they fall short. And in this day and age of very active social media, all you need is a couple of unhappy customers, and it can come back to haunt you for months, for years, for a very long time, and then you end up having to fix problems that you could have avoided in the first place.
So how do we find that balance between, acting fast, taking action? Peter, I'm a man of action. I have an idea. It's implemented an hour later. How do we straddle that and, the other person who spends 7 months with LLCs and trademarking every blog post? Where do we find that middle ground?
The middle ground, you see, the difference between you, Ryan, is you're prepared. You have your infrastructure and you know what you need to do, and you can launch, rapidly. And as we know, you often do. You always do. Yep. The people who are new into the space, who are using the strategies that you teach, that many of your guests teach for the first time, are focusing only on the marketing side and not thinking about the backside of that business. Meaning, how are they going to touch their customers? How are they going to respond to emails? How are they going to make sure that all the most important part of their business, customer relations, is handled? Because honestly, the core root of legal problems in the marketing space, whether it's pure internet marketing, it's health and wellness, you name it, a pure product, is disgruntled customers, is not making your customers happy. If they're not happy and they're not getting what they thought they purchased, they can derail a business overnight.
Yeah, it's funny. If you actually look at the infrastructure of my quote-unquote marketing business, like Freedym.com, all of the full-time people I have, every single one of them is customer support.
Correct.
and most people have it the opposite. Everything's about sales. Oh, I need a guy to get me Facebook ads, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have anyone. They have maybe a part-time person, customer support, who's not really properly trained.
And then all of a sudden, you switch the switch is turned on, the funnel works, you have traffic, you're making sales, and people call to ask a question. People may need a refund, need an adjustment, something's not working. And if you don't respond right away, this is an age of immediate satisfaction. If they're not happy, they don't feel like that you care about them, that you're ignoring them, then they think, well, you were a fly-by-nighter, it paints you with a broad brush. And if you happen to have a Facebook group associated with your product, disgruntled people will rise to the top, and they will try to make other people disgruntled because that's their leverage, because they think they've been screwed.
Yeah, so now let's talk a little bit more about protection.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's just kind of go rapid fire.
You got it.
Trademark / copyright.
Yes.
Just
Very important.
Yeah.
People pick a name for their product or service, but they don't think about the fact that they need to clear to make sure somebody else doesn't own it. I'm not talking about buying a domain name. Just because you have a domain doesn't clear you for using that phrase as a label for your product or service. The last thing you want to do is invest a lot of time, money, and effort in creating a program, a service, a course, you name it, naming it something, and all of a sudden, again, not being ready for your success. 6 months from now, a big company, another person comes after you and says, pay me, or change your name. Mm-hmm. So invest a few dollars with a good trademark attorney, have that search done. You know, Ryan, the relationship I created for you with Renee has paid off tenfold.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Let me just repeat, big takeaway. Because you own a domain doesn't mean you own the trademark. Do your homework, research.
Right. And you've protected us. There have been, when we started one of our supplement companies, one of the first products we had, we didn't do enough research, and we had to basically recall all the products and all the labels, and we're lucky they didn't sue us for all the profits.
Correct.
So we've got trademark. Let's talk a little bit of a shift. Protecting yourself with partnerships. A lot of people partner up. And let's talk both legal and strategic, because I think you see a lot of guys partnering with the wrong person and making big mistakes.
Your business should be your business, and you should only take on partners after you know that you get along, you trust each other implicitly, and you are in it for the long haul. Once you give up equity, meaning ownership, you can't get it back. There's a great collaborative spirit in the internet marketing world that didn't exist in prior models of business. It's awesome. People share, people collaborate, but then they call each other joint venture partners. They call each other partners right away. They've never met each other.
Yeah.
When you say you're a partner of someone else, that gives you liability of that other person's actions. So you need to be an island, protect yourselves, own your own business. You bring on partners after you prove to each other that you can work well together, that you're of like mind and have the like sensibilities. Don't give up. Your equity, your ownership is the goose that laid the golden egg. You never give away the goose.
Yeah, you're right. One other sticky issue. Let's talk about email, keeping it legit, worrying about potential spam issues.
Okay. All right, spam. Most people think it's all about, well, it's not about the meat that Hawaiians like. But anyway, spam. It's not just about sending an email to somebody who doesn't want it. You must, number one, have an opt-in and a privacy policy on your webpage that protects you to enable you to send an email to someone. Number two, you must have a physical address on your email. Number three, your subject line can be under scrutiny. It can't be misleading. Okay, it's not the place to get too fancy. Although there's a science, there's an art to creating a good subject line. Now, let me add a twist to that equation. If you are mailing for someone else, and that happens a lot in the IM space, you need, and Ryan, if let's say you have people who have opted out of your list and and now you're mailing for someone else and you're mailing to their list, you need to scrub that other person's list against the people who already opted out of your list.
Right.
It's called scrubbing your list. If you don't, you could have problems. Finally, if you have an offer and someone else is mailing for you, you are responsible if it's a single product offer. The owner of the offer is ultimately responsible. It may not seem right, but that's the law. Finally, there are professional plaintiffs who are opting into lists and to seeing whether you are complying, and they will hold you hostage for money. Mm-hmm. It's a shakedown, and it's happening.
Yeah, and we know because it's happening to us right now.
And that's subject for a longer call when the Freedym Report goes to 20 minutes.
It's the Freedym Show, and we're always keeping it at 10, Peter. That's the expanded version.
Excuse me.
So finally, one last, as we close this out, I love advice that you've talked about before, and it's about Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Let's finish strong. Tell me your Kool-Aid pitch.
All right, here's the deal. Avoid the bright, shiny object. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't believe your own bullshit. Meaning, you need to reality test. And as you move from being a beginner to an advanced marketer to having success to then failing and coming back, never lose sight of the core of your business and your core risk tolerances and the core of being a good person and a conscious entrepreneur. Because when you start believing your own crap, that's when you make mistakes. when you go to a cocktail party and you share ideas and you hear ideas of someone else and you say, that's what I want to do, that's not the way to make a decision. Avoid the bright, shiny objects. Avoid believing, people who are telling you you're great. You're only great because you earn it and you consistently can perform in the same way. So, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
And this is why I have Peter Hoppenfeld watching my back. If you are serious about your business and you're growing it and you're looking to do it the right way, Peter is certainly, he's not the cheapest attorney in the world. He's not the most expensive. You don't need to spend $200,000 in attorney fees before you start a home-based, internet business. But if you're serious about it, I highly, highly recommend you get in touch with Peter Hoppenfeld. Again, the site is peterhoppenfeld.com. We're going to have a link on the show notes here. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Freedym Show. As always, I will be back tomorrow every single day, not 24 hours a day, but every 24 hours. I'm here. If you enjoy it, a rating and review is always appreciated in iTunes, and you can subscribe. It's free. There's no charge. So have an amazing day. Hope you enjoyed this with Peter. This is Ryan Lee signing off. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, and bye-bye.